Oh my, I don't know what to really say, to be honest, when it comes to the loss against Liverpool. It's more than the loss against Liverpool. It's more than just losing 5-0 at home again, conceding a lot of goals at home. It's the mannerisms. It's deeper. It's deeper than we all think, to be honest. It's not even reactionary. It's not even I'm reacting to the 5-0 loss. I'm reacting to the way the season's panning out. I'm reacting to the lack of vision, the lack of moving forward that we should be doing and are not doing. It's the mannerisms and the way that everything is being done at West Ham. It's not just a case of offering respect, giving respect to the opposition, therefore them turning up and smashing us. It's just so much more than that. But let's talk about Lopetegui for a second. Let's talk about Julian Lopetegui and let's talk about team selection. You know, when I was sitting down watching the game, I turned around to my dad and I said, listen, what we're going to see here is Todibo's going to come on at halftime. I guarantee Todibo will come on at halftime. And I think we can all predict that. And for me, that's a real clear sign that he does not know his starting 11. Now, I think to a certain point, when you've got strength and depth, I can understand where coaches and managers don't have their first choice 11 are unsure, but playing so many games that we have this season, to be so unsure and to be so inconsistent in team selection really does not do us any form of justice. Now, we seen a little bit of consistency with West Ham under David Moyes in terms of team selection, whether it was crap performances or not. We still saw some form of consistency in team selection, and I think when you've got players in and out of the team, you lose morale. You absolutely lose morale. And I think you would be silly not to think that this team look like they have got no morale. Even when we win a game, we look like we've got no morale. There seems to be no real strong work ethic either. The similarities between watching West Ham play as a whole to the Pellegrini era are scarily similar. We are a team that have a lot of amazing potential outlets and therefore don't utilize them because we're very static. And I don't understand what the decision in terms of the tactics is all about. Is it just down to Julian Lopetegui, or is it actually down to the players? Like, why are they so static? Look at the transition from defence moving forward with West Ham and what we lack. We lack movement. I saw a clip of what they're calling De Zerbi ball, and I'm not saying West Ham should have De Zerbi, I'm just using it as an example about how players come and show for the ball. And when West Ham got the ball against Liverpool, and in actual fact when West Ham got the ball against Wolves, Southampton, you name it, all of these teams, we lack movement, we lack showing for the ball, we lack creativity, and we lack the va-va-voom. And we rely heavily on long balls or the special kind of pass that we know Paqueta can do but is not doing. I mean, one example of that pass that never turned into anything was when he got the ball and he tried to curl it with the outside of his right foot over for Kudus or Bowen, who was coming on the overlap, and it just went straight to their keeper. But it was the angle that he was doing it from, it was the distance he was trying to do it from, and it just was never going to work. I think you could see it was never going to work. This is not a reaction based upon the loss against Liverpool. This is a reaction based upon the season, and it really isn't. It really isn't great. And I think we're going to be really lucky that there are worse teams this season that might bide Julian Lopetegui time. But I've said all along, what's the vision? Where's the identity of this club? What are we trying to achieve? There is not a single West Ham fan that could turn around and say, I can see what West Ham are trying to achieve, because I can't see what West Ham are trying to achieve, and no pundit can see what West Ham are trying to achieve. And it looks like no player and the coach don't really know what West Ham are trying to achieve. And it baffles me. It really does baffle me. I've never genuinely felt so bored watching West Ham. I find it really boring because we're playing really boring and awful. It's not great. The only time I've had any element of excitement this season was against Newcastle, and the similarities to the season under Pellegrini are so similar, it's actually really worrying. And then I'm looking at the way that Lopetegui stands in the sidelines, and you know, he looks like a lost man. He really does. And he's probably a coach that's working job to job, day to day, job to job, thinking, I'm going to lose my job anytime soon. But then again, we have the owners that we've got who threaten to call it quits with the man. You know, we all joke about this kind of rinse and repeat, but it does feel a little bit like it is going to be rinse and repeat. And I feel like we probably could go into the next two games losing quite convincingly, get knocked out of the cup against Aston Villa, lose against Manchester City, and then he'll be on a sticky wedge again, and then he'll be up for debate whether he'll make it through to the next game. And then we'll turn up against Crystal Palace, we'll probably get a result, and then it'll be rinse and repeat again. And it's because the owners are, I don't know, like, people could turn around to me and say, well, what's the solution, Anton? What is the solution? Well, we all, in my opinion, the solution is we get rid of the owners, but we're not going to do that. So the owners are here to stay. But the solution to West Ham right now is that something has to give, because I just get so frustrated at just being so close yet so far from progression. When we have an opportunity to progress, we're either 2 or 3 players too short, or we're a really good coach too short from progressing and moving forward as a club. And then the cameras focus on the owners as if they know what they're talking about and know what they're doing. But, you know, loads of rumours kicking around saying Graham Potter's potentially coming into West Ham. But do you know what? See, if you don't like Graham Potter, if you do, the problem is it's not going to change. It's not going to change. And why is it not going to change? Because we have the owners we've got. And why is that not going to change? Because they're dealing with people in the wrong mannerisms, in the wrong way. You think about, you're in your job, your actual day-to-day job, and you're being treated, you're hearing through the grapevine, you've only got 2 days left to turn things around. Then you turn things around, then you've got 2 days left to turn things around. Then you turn it around, then you've got 2 days left to turn it around, and someone else is there. It's the morale must be awful. It must genuinely be awful. And I think you can see that when players are coming on and off the bench. You can see that they don't look like they love it. They don't look like they love playing for the club, and that's so disheartening to watch. And if they don't, and we feel that, then it's tough for us to get excited by a game, especially when we see the team news and we think, what the fuck are we doing setting up the way we're setting up? It's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling. The issue, I don't think, will ever change, to be honest with you, where we have the ownership we've got. I don't see the way forward under this ownership, whether it's Graham Potter or any manager that comes in, because I always think no matter the manager, they're always going to undermined. No matter the pressure, they're always going to get taken for a ride and being made to look like mugs. I genuinely believe Lopetegui's been made to look like a mug, and I think our ownerships haven't helped him in any way. I don't think they've ever once kind of really backed him. Not talking about financially here, I'm talking about just backed him from the end. You know, if you hear the rumours, and the rumours are true, that West Ham have and have been speaking to other coaches, and it wasn't Tim Steiden's choice, blah 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 blah. You know, the thing they're going to do is always put the pressure on other people except for them. It's always going to be on Lopetegui, it's always going to be on Tim Steiden. And I don't, when it comes to Tim Steiden, I don't really understand why he is still there. Unless he really believes, unless he has a vision, unless that vision is going to turn into something, then so be it. And I'm all for giving people time, but we have had Lopetegui, who's in my opinions, tactics have got worse and worse and worse. They have absolutely got worse, and I've not seen any element of vision at all from Lopetegui. So I don't know. What are we going to do moving forward? Who knows? The next 2 games, do you have a lot of hope? Probably not. And I'm one of the biggest fans out there that do have a lot of hope. But my 8-year-old son is watching West Ham and getting really pissed off about it. You can see it. It's very clear. And he's an 8-year-old who actually sits and watches games, because his dad sits and watches the games. You know, he sits and watches the games, and he's like, Dad, this is not good. Like, and he's looking at Kudus and he's thinking, you know what? He was the only bright star in the game yesterday. And the element, you know, when he became bright was when he came through the middle and played through the middle. And I'm just thinking to myself, what are we doing as a club? Where are we going as a club? Are we just lucky that there's 6 or 7 other teams that aren't as good as West Ham and who are not going to pick up points because we've got a gap? But we can only play so much, and I think we can only keep conceding so much at home to the level we're conceding, because we're conceding a lot of goals. We are conceding a lot of goals, and if Jared Bowen is injured, then that's just going to make matters worse for us. Fulkrug's in the team, Fulkrug's out of the team, Somerville's in the team, Somerville's out of the team, Tadebo's in the team, Tadebo's out of the team, Mavropanos is in the team, Mavropanos is out of the team, Emerson starts, then comes off, then doesn't play, then subbed, Soufal starts, then comes off, then plays, then gets subbed. I genuinely can't keep up with it. Paquetá gets a yellow card, he's suspended, he misses a game. Soler, we can never get the run of the mill. I don't really know what's going on with Alvarez. He just looks like a distant player from what he used to be. It's a frustrating time as a West Ham fan. Leave your comments, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, let me know your thoughts. Come on, you irons.